Kaido coming to you live from Singapore, day one of Token 2049. It is the end of the day, and we're at best to spend it, but with the people that track it all, the Kaito team. And we have head of research, head of content research, just the badass boss. Sandra, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a busy week because I came from KBW to Token.
There?
Yeah, so it's been a pretty wild week.
All right. And so for those that don't know, what is Kaito?
Yeah, so Kaido is it's basically Google, but for Web3. So what we do is that we scrape content from Twitter. That's the main source of information in crypto Twitter, and then we also scrape Farcaster, we scrape a bunch of other platforms, and now we're basically building a lot of cool GTM strategies where projects can work with us on different solutions, depending on what they need it for.
Yeah, and you're basically the sentiment kings of sentience and what people are yapping about.
Yeah.
Why? I don't necessarily know if you guys created the term yapper, but I feel like you did.
We did.
Why did you call it yapping?
We called it yapping because we were thinking of what terms we could use for just describing how people talk on Twitter.
Okay.
And I think yapping is a good sort of word that people can latch into, right? It's like yaps. You can call it yaps, you can call it a yapper, you can call it yapping.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways where you can play with the word.
All right.
Yeah.
And capybaras. Why cappies?
Yeah, so we wanted an animal that was very cute, and capybaras are actually very dynamic, so they do everything. And for us, we want yappers to have a niche, but also is general enough so that it can tap into new audiences. And we think that capybara is a very happy animal, and we love happy yappers. And so, yeah, all things considered, we want a cute way to describe Kaido, and it's a mascot.
So you guys initially launched with 12 projects back in January. For those that didn't get onto the Kaido dashboard that you guys had last year, where projects could do deep research, and then you moved into this public side of it. What would you say is the best advice you could give to a new yapper? Because there's so many projects that are building on Kaido, Kaito, however you wish to say it, on the Yapper board. What's the advice you would give?
Yeah, if you want to start on Kaido, I would say pick a niche. A lot of our yappers only talk about like 2-3 projects, and that's usually the best kind of yappers because we want yappers to be very aligned with the projects they talk about. So it's not just like, you see one project, you talk about the project, and you kind of leave it as that. We want yappers to be very aligned over time. So like not just like when a project is at a pre-TGE stage. We want yappers to continue being with projects even like after TGE, because I think the full cycle of a project and like your influence on a project really matters. And I think the biggest lesson is like you have to care about your reputation as a yapper. And you shouldn't just talk about every single project and that's not really aligned with your interests. It has to have some sort of correlation with what you're generally talking about.
And do you guys know how much money you have distributed out through Yapper Rewards so far?
Yeah. So we have a Dune dashboard that tracks how much value is distributed to yappers, and also the holders. So holders are people who stake Kaido, or you, and people who hold Yappibaras. Oh yeah,
Do you?
Me too, of course.
How many do you hold?
I hold 3 for now.
That's an alpha. Get 3.
Yeah, but essentially we've distributed over, I think, 120 million to yappers, and then we have like 20 million to holders, which is like to stakers.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty huge sum if you think about how much value and in dollar value, right, that has been distributed to
that. And that's sort of a really awesome way, because you're almost killing the inactive KOL scammers.
Yeah.
And now projects are able to really dynamically approach, identify, and know who their yappers are, especially if they're looking at targeted areas or just overall general. So what's the best advice that you could give to anyone else and projects that are wanting to use Kaito?
Yeah, I think for projects, I'll start with projects.
Okay.
For projects, it really depends on how you want Kaido to assist you in your go-to-market journey. So we can do like leaderboards. We can also do on-chain integrations.
Yeah.
So if you want to find people who are yapping and using your project, Kaido is a perfect place to do that because we have social data. We also have on-chain data. So I think when you combine social and on-chain data, that powerful things happen because you're able to identify people who are not just talking about you, which is important, but you also want people to use your product, or you want people to hold certain NFTs and you want to give them a boost. All of this is not possible anywhere else, and I think Kaido is one of the only places where you can really combine social, capital, and on-chain.
So are you guys announcing any awesome news during Token 2049?
You'll find out tomorrow if you come to our main event. They're giving a keynote speech tomorrow.
At Token?
Yes. I think it's around 4 p.m.
4 p.m. at Token 2049. Who knows what's coming up next, because we've seen the Launchpad launch doing an amazing job. We're excited to see what's going to happen on Kaido next.
Yeah.
Any last things you want to see? And where can people find you if they want to yap about you? And are you a smart follower?
You'll find out. Now, you can find me on Twitter. So I'm Sandra with 2 A's at the back, Leow.
Awesome. And as always, I'm Player One Taco. We'll see you next time. We'll see you here. We are in Token.